Tonight, people in Houston's 5th Ward are concerned that EPA investigations into cancer clusters in their community will end after President Donald Trump removed federal requirements that agencies like the EPA take race and income into account when making those policies. Orko Manna joins us live in 5th Ward tonight. Orko, what are people in that neighborhood telling you?
Yeah, Marcelino, they're worried, and residents for decades have been concerned that toxic chemicals polluting their air and water have caused many issues here, and they say that's all because of probable carcinogens that they say originated from this nearby rail yard. While the EPA is investigating this to help the underserved community here, the fear now is that President Trump's executive orders could put a stop to that.
The air, the water, the soil, our livelihood.
5th Ward resident Sandra Edwards knows all too well the impact of the toxic chemicals in her community. Her father died from cancer in 2010.
He used to sit out in the yard. He stopped wearing his shoes, coming outside just to feel the grass on his feet. By 6 months later, he had bone cancer. And I say 12 months later, he was gone.
She blames this nearby rail yard, which used the wood preservative creosote until 1984. The EPA labels creosote as a probable carcinogen.
We have lost a lot of people around here to that. The same things, different scenarios, but the same outcome.
The EPA has started investigating so-called cancer clusters throughout the 5th Ward, but the future of that work is up in the air.
Executive actions.
President Donald Trump signing a series of executive orders this week. Among the changes, ending the requirement for federal agencies to address environmental justice for low-income and minority populations.
I signed an order that will end all of the lawless diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense all across the government.
And you're afraid that with this executive order, that work will be halted?
I think it's going to come to a complete halt. I do.
That's heartbreaking for Sandra, getting visibly emotional at the thought.
We started trying to move forward in life, but you started trying to take us back. We're hurting out here. We're hurting out here. We're tired of it. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Harris County Attorney Christian Menifee tells me Trump's dismantling of the EPA's environmental justice team will harm black and brown communities such as the 5th Ward, who he says have historically been placed in more polluted areas.
The many communities, such as many here in the Houston area, that have higher instances of cancer, of asthma, lower lifespans because of overpollution, they're no longer going to get the benefit of the federal government taking those things into account. It has to be a solution that considers people's overpollution and their race, because the problem includes those things.
Is there anything you can do locally to fight against this?
If we find an angle to file lawsuits, we absolutely will. But for now, I think we're all going to have to sit back and wait and see how the federal government rolls out these programs.
Sandra praying local leaders can help her and her neighbors.
I hope they do, and I'm going to help them work with it. I hope they find a way and we get through this, because this is not what we're looking for. We worked too hard to go back.
And I reached out to several Republican representatives to get their thoughts on the president's executive orders. I either did not hear back or was told they were unavailable. Meanwhile, Menifee tells me that it's still unclear what exactly Trump's executive orders could mean for the funding of environmental protection work, but he suspects that the investigations into the cancer clusters here will not be a priority. Reporting live tonight from the 5th Ward, Orko Manna, KHOU 11 News.
Much more to come on this one. Orko, thanks so much.